In the small town of Ravenswood, nestled deep within the shadowed embrace of ancient forests, whispers of a haunting tale echoed through the years. It was a story whispered with hushed breaths around campfires and passed down from generation to generation. A tale of a girl who vanished without a trace. Her name was Emily Hawthorne, a shy and gentle soul, known for her love of books and solitary walks through the woods. She lived with her grandmother on the outskirts of town, in a quaint cottage surrounded by towering oaks and weeping willows. Every day, Emily would venture into the forest, disappearing into the green maze of ferns and moss-covered stones. One crisp autumn afternoon, Emily set out as she always did, a leather-bound journal tucked under her arm and a wistful smile on her lips. She wandered deeper than usual, drawn by an inexplicable pull towards a clearing she had never seen before. A clearing bathed in an eerie twilight even in the midday sun. As Emily stepped into the clearing, a sudden chill swept through the air, causing the leaves to rustle ominously overhead. She felt a strange presence, like eyes watching her from every shadow. Ignoring the unease creeping up her spine, she walked further into the heart of the clearing, where a single ancient oak stood, its branches twisted and gnarled. It was then that Emily heard it, a faint, ethereal melody floating on the breeze, a haunting tune that seemed to beckon her closer. Mesmerized, she approached the oak tree, its bark weathered and rough to the touch. Beneath its sprawling roots, she spotted an old, leather-bound book, its pages yellowed with age and bound with a lock of tarnished silver. Curiosity overcame caution, and Emily reached out to touch the book. The moment her fingers brushed against its cover, a surge of energy pulsed through her, sending shivers down her spine. The melody grew louder, filling her ears until it was all she could hear. With trembling hands, she unlocked the book and began to read aloud the strange incantations inscribed within. Unbeknownst to Emily, her voice had awakened something ancient and malevolent. The forest around her darkened, the once gentle breeze turning into a violent gale. Shadows danced menacingly among the trees, their forms twisting and contorting like specters of the night. Suddenly, Emily realized her mistake, but it was too late. The ground beneath her feet trembled, and roots snaked out from the earth, wrapping around her ankles and pulling her down into a gaping chasm that had opened at the base of the oak tree. She screamed in terror as darkness enveloped her, swallowing her whole. Back in Ravenswood, days passed with no sign of Emily Hawthorne. Her grandmother grew frantic, searching every corner of the forest, calling out her name until her voice grew hoarse. The townspeople gathered to form search parties, combing through the woods and spreading out across the countryside, but Emily had vanished without a trace. As weeks turned into months, the whispers grew louder. Some claimed to have seen a ghostly figure wandering through the forest at night, a pale girl with hollow eyes and a mournful expression. Others spoke of strange happenings, unexplained shadows, eerie whispers on the wind, and a pervasive sense of dread that hung heavy in the air. Years passed, and Emily Hawthorne became a legend, a cautionary tale told to children who dared venture too far into the woods. The clearing where she had disappeared became a place of fear and superstition, avoided by all who knew its haunted history. But deep within the heart of the forest, beneath the roots of an ancient oak tree, Emily's spirit lingered. Trapped between worlds, she wandered endlessly, her voice forever lost to the haunting melody that had ensnared her. And on dark, moonless nights, when the wind howled through the trees, those who listened closely swore they could hear her faint cries echoing through the woods, a chilling reminder of the girl who vanished into the depths of Ravenswood, never to be seen again. Many years after Emily Hawthorne's disappearance, the town of Ravenswood had changed. The once vibrant community had become tinged with an air of sadness and superstition. Parents warned their children to steer clear of the forest, especially the haunted clearing where Emily was last seen. The old oak tree stood as a silent sentinel, its branches casting long, ominous shadows over the ground. Among those haunted by Emily's story was Amelia Green, a curious and adventurous young girl with a penchant for exploring. Unlike the other children who feared the woods, Amelia felt drawn to them, inexplicably fascinated by the mystery surrounding Emily's fate. She would often sneak away from her chores to wander along the forest edge, gazing longingly at the forbidden depths beyond. One moonlit night, unable to resist the pull any longer, Amelia decided to venture deeper into the woods. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and a sense of determination, she followed the winding paths that led her closer to the heart of the forest. The air grew colder as she passed through familiar landmarks. The creek where she used to play, the ancient stone circle rumored to be a portal to another realm. Amelia's heart pounded with excitement and trepidation as she approached the clearing where Emily had vanished. Moonlight filtered through the canopy above, casting an eerie glow on the moss-covered ground. The old oak tree loomed ahead, its branches creaking in the gentle breeze. As she stood at the edge of the clearing, a strange sensation washed over Amelia, a feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes boring into her very soul. She hesitated, her resolve wavering for a moment, but then she remembered the stories her grandmother had told her about bravery and facing one's fears. Summoning her courage, Amelia stepped into the clearing, her flashlight cutting through the darkness like a beacon. The air grew heavy with an unnatural stillness, the usual chorus of nocturnal sounds silenced as if the forest itself held its breath. Suddenly, Amelia noticed something glinting amidst the tangled roots of the oak tree, a faint reflection of light off something metallic. Intrigued, she approached cautiously, her heart pounding in her chest. There, nestled among the roots, she discovered an old, weathered book, identical to the one Emily had found all those years ago. Her hands trembling, Amelia reached out to touch the book, feeling a strange, tingling sensation as her fingers brushed against its worn cover. Memories of Emily's story flooded her mind. The haunting melody, the ominous incantations, and the mysterious disappearance. Could this be the key to unraveling the mystery of Emily Hawthorne? Without hesitation, Amelia flipped open the book, its pages crackling with age. She scanned the faded text, deciphering the archaic language with growing excitement. The words seemed to dance before her eyes, forming a narrative of ancient rituals and forgotten spells. Unbeknownst to Amelia, her actions had awakened dormant forces within the forest. Shadows stirred around her, whispering secrets long buried beneath layers of time and sorrow. The ground beneath her feet trembled once more, and a low, mournful wail echoed through the trees, a sound that chilled Amelia to the bone. Realizing the danger too late, Amelia tried to flee, but invisible tendrils snaked out from the earth, entwining around her ankles like serpents. She struggled against their grip, panic rising in her chest as darkness closed in around her.